What is up, everyone? Comic Book Food Chain is in the house. We're just kicking it old school style, talking about some cool stuff today. But I want to do a quick roundtable. How's everybody doing? How was your weeks? We got some exciting news. Everybody's been busy. Let's kick it over to the Pro Collector. Yeezy.
It's been going good, just staying busy with, all the different podcasts and, just hanging out. So
very, very
excited to talk about the topic tonight.
Hell yeah. And then Gogol, we know you've had a good week. How you doing now that you're back home?
I'm doing all right, but I'm a little concerned. I gotta be honest. I leave for a week and the subs jump like 30. What the hell is that about?
We did what we could while you were gone.
It's pretty wild. But no, I'm good. As you guys know, I was off last week because I was flying down to LA. I did a handful of signings down there. They were super, super well attended. While I was doing that, Power Rangers Edge of Darkness sold out, went to a second printing. That FOC'd yesterday. Here, the orders were super solid. So it's just been a good week all around.
Badass. And of course, Bird City, we've been busy. Launched a couple books last week. This week, they will be shipping, which is the not fun part. But whatever, somebody's got to do it. Make sure you guys get them those high-grade copies out. But Yeezy, who do we got hanging out with us tonight?
Let's see. I'm seeing 9 Square Inches. What's up, man? Jay Burns, Andrew Liebman. How's it going? I see Frank Gogol, Jay Burns, and I see Ken Assman Jr. in Facebook. Thank you for sharing. And Burke Family 54 Comics.
Burke Family 54 Comics in the house. Welcome in, everybody.
What's going on?
I just saw Cherokee Metal in the comments too. Welcome back, bro.
Looks like Stacy just hopped in. Of course, Dan Barry, my boy Anthony Divins. I'll have to tell you some stories about him. He's known me since 2nd grade. So that's the kind of guy you don't want him to be around your family because they know way too much about you.
Ooh, Laura Big Bird Comics is up in there too.
Love it.
My favorite Canadian, Josh Gouster. How's it going?
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Well, guys, welcome in. If you haven't done so, real quick reminder, we'll remind you again towards the end of the show, but subscribe, share out the stream if you don't mind. We're going to talk about a very cool subject, but before we get to the subject matter, we're getting close. So, Frank, tell them about those subs you were gone and they spiked a little.
Yeah. So in the last week, we've gotten a little bit of a rush. Reminds me of the old days of about 19 weeks ago. Can you believe we've been doing this for 19 weeks? Uninterrupted. Blows my mind.
It's been that many shows?
Yeah, next week's number 20. But we're closing in on 900. We are at, as of right now, real time numbers 871. If the numbers keep going at the rate they have been, we'll hit 900 next episode. Holy shit! But yeah, so if you're watching, if you like hearing me stutter, if you like what we're doing, you enjoy the show, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell. It helps us. And when we hit 900, we're going to give away this Sam Wilson Captain America #1 hip hop variant cover. Again, this is coming with a free press from Red Hood Comics from the pressing episode. Red Hood offered that. So we'll work that out when we do the giveaway. But yeah, so you're going to get a nice clean copy Sam Wilson Captain America #1, the hip hop cover, which is going for a pretty penny these days. And we are on our road to 1,000 subs. I took that slide out, so never mind. But when we hit 1,000 subs, we're going to give away a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Canto #1 from San Diego Comic-Con 2019. This is signed by both David Boer and Drew Zucker, the creators of Canto. I saw David over the weekend when I signed in LA. He was very excited for us to give this away. He says, I want that out of your house, Gogol. So let's help David's dreams come true. Hit that sub button.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's get into the good stuff. Obviously, we're talking signing events. Gogol, you've got a fair bit of experience, as do I with setting them up. Me, not so much of the signing. And Yee, I'm sure you've got plenty of ink around your house aside from your body and the creepy questions you get about where those are at.
Yeah. Let's see. How about a familiar face, Greg Horn.
There you go.
Yeah. Look at that. So real quick sidebar. I went to Universal Studios on Sunday. It was a last minute decision. I'm not a theme park guy, but it was 4th of July. I'm a huge Jaws fan, and they've got the original shark from Jaws in the backlot tour. And it's
cool.
like why wouldn't you do that? It's my ultimate 4th of July fantasy. But while I was there, I went through Simpsons World, and they got that big ass crusty building, and I kept thinking of you every time I saw that crusty building.
Nice. Did you drink a Duff beer while you were there, or a
I
Flamin'
did, and it was a fucking Budweiser or a Coors Light that they
It's
called
Michelob Ultra.
Yeah, and it was like $18 for 16 ounces. It's insane amount of money. I'm so glad I went to Universal Studios.
I think I'm understanding this right. Somebody wants my autograph.
Harry Potter World was pretty dope, though.
Dude.
I mean, you could almost get like a 24 pack at that price, even in California.
Time out. Sidebar to the sidebar. That place is awesome.
Yeah.
But I cannot ride anything there because I get motion sick like you can't believe. So it's like a kid, like, I'm going to make a really bad analogy, so I won't do it. But, I'm walking in and I'm like, oh, I want to touch everything. And it's like, sit down and be quiet, Anthony. We'll be right back.
Or you're 1 inch too short to ride this ride.
Exactly. I'm the dad that's got to hold the stroller while everybody does the fun things for every ride in Universal because I will lose my shit. So
not only do you get sick, but you also made poor life decisions and you're paying for all of it.
Absolutely. Every day.
Excellent.
Back to the subject at hand.
All right. So we're talking signing events tonight.
Yep.
I wanted to keep it general. This is, I've got the great Stan Lee in the background there. I think Stan was my first signature ever.
That's why I put it back up. I wanted you to say that. How cool for the first signature ever is a Stanley signature.
Yeah, I went to cons for probably 8 years without ever getting a signature. And part of it was nerves. I didn't want to bother the creators of the books that I really liked. But I finally got a copy of Hawkeye's first appearance. And I was like, if I'm ever going to get this book signed by Stan Lee, I need to do it before he dies. So back in 2011 or 2012, I went to New York Comic Con, paid the insane amount of money to stand in a very long line for Stan to sign it. Just real conveyor belt style. Seemed like he wasn't having a good time. It's a different conversation, but so over the years, I've developed some feelings about it. I've done some signings now, obviously, and I thought with conventions creeping back up, starting back up, and the bigger ones just around the corner, it might be worthwhile to talk about this in a couple different ways. One thing I want to touch on is signing etiquette.
Yes.
Sort of guest versus pro, that kind of stuff. We don't need to jump into that right away. Kind of want to do like a general roundtable,
Sure.
signing experiences, what do you like about signings? What do you hate about signings? Kind of get like a general overview. So I'm going to kick it back to you, Ant, and you start us off. Just
all right.
From the gut, shoot from the hip. What do you think?
So I think signings are fantastic. I think they're a lot of fun and I'm coming again from the retail standpoint of this. They're a lot of fun for your consumer to offer those signatures, that experience, if it's in person, which is awesome. I will tell you, it's from a retailer standpoint, it's fucking terrible to have to do. Oh, it's so much responsibility. Like you're basically the designated driver and you're taking all your friends bar hopping. That's what it is. Like there is no party. Don't get it twisted. It's not, oh, we're going to go out to dinner afterwards and I'm hanging out with yada, yada. No, they're tired. They're done. But it's fantastic because you get the pats on the backs and the kudos. Like this was a great time. Thank you for putting it together. So I think they're necessary. I will continue to do them and do them better and better because I'm still in the beginning stages of organizing these things and doing them regularly. But it's a blast for your fans and it's a blast for the comic community. So I don't think it's something that should ever go away. That's my 2 cents.
What about you? What about
Beat
you?
That,
yeah.
Yee.
Yeah,
so
I mean, to follow.
Yeah, I know. I mean, two tough stories to follow on signing. So when I got back into comics, one of the first people I ever got a signature from was Stan Lee. And I picked up a book from my nostalgia past that I had in my collection still. Didn't know anything about CGC, none of that. Didn't
know who Stan Lee was. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so I got his signature on a book and then, kept on going to conventions, started doing a bit more research and found out, oh, there's a slabbing service where it protects my book. And then, they grade on condition and all that. So I started getting more information onto that and found out, oh, you need to have a witness with this. And this is back in the days where CBCS, requires a witness too. But I guess I can get into a little bit deeper on that a little bit later.
Right.
And then, I did my research on the internet, looking at CGC boards, where people are all right, yeah, set up a bagging window. Like, this is what you do. And yeah, so now you have like a ton of books signed. Like when I went to New York City Comic Con, that was overwhelming because, you know, you have tons of great creators like all in one spot. And I think I spent most of my time in Artist Alley, honestly.
Did you just call it New York City Comic Con, NYCCC?
Did I add an extra C?
City. No, I just wanted to make sure I was going to the right show all these years. Is there another one?
Dude, there could be.
There's that Toy Fair that you should never miss.
Fucking love Toy Fair.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
you guys and your toys. All right.
I'm sorry you don't have an action figure of a character that you wrote.
You know what's? Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Let me roll out the red carpet, Mr. Frank Gogol, guys. If you haven't checked, is in the house.
Can you afford enough to reach me?
I don't know if we can afford him to be on this podcast anymore.
I know, dude. His rates are going up as we speak. All right. Anyway,
you guys get paid.
Yeah, let's kick it over to our new celebrity, Mr. Gogol.
So yeah, I like signings. Signings are a good time. They there's two kinds of takes on it. Like I usually fall kind of in the middle on most things, right? I am still a fan. I still read. I still love comics. I still collect, and I also create. So like I'm kind of in the middle. I like attending signings. I love going to my friends' signings now, which is a really cool thing I get to do because I'm in that world. I love having signed books. I don't collect to sell. I don't collect things that I don't want. I'm really good about not giving into FOMO and shit like that. So like when I get a book signed, it's kind of a big deal. It means something to me. As a creator, it's also a really positive experience. I love traveling. I think a lot of creators don't like going to conventions, don't like getting on planes, don't like being away from home. I really dig that kind of stuff. I love meeting people, love talking to people. So like, getting down to LA and signing at 3 shops that I haven't ever been to and returning to one of the shops where I did one of my first signings was a really cool experience this past week. So like on the whole, I'm very pro signings. I think they're a great opportunity to meet people or to meet the people whose work you love. Like, I mean, I just can't really imagine like a bad take on signing unless it's like a complete shit show. Like just, dude's late. The books didn't come in, which happened to be at my first signing. Dead End Kids was pushed back a week, and I had 4 signings down in LA. Luckily, I had ordered 100 copies of the book for myself and brought them all with me just in case. If I hadn't done that, that would have been a waste of a lot of money and time. But yeah, unless it's a shit show, like signings are awesome.
Yeah, that's it's. Oh, man, we're going to touch on some stuff, guys. So the general consensus is we all like signings. They're a good part of the business. They're a lot of fun. They generate buzz. I'm assuming that we're going to get into some other end of the spectrum because we have nothing but good things to say so far. We're going to go through some yes and some no's. I'm basically doing a disclaimer because I've got some negative things I want to say about it, and you guys are the fans that are watching. None of this is geared towards you specifically. Let's clarify that now because there is some etiquette we want to talk about. Gogol's going to touch on, and it'll just make everybody's experience more. What am I thinking? I want to say I was going to say
super good, mega fucking awesome,
mega awesomeness. So everybody's on board. We love them. You guys know that we're fans. Let's get into the nitty gritty on how these things should function. And again, let's talk etiquette from the retailer to the collector up to the signee that's going to be there. We'll do roundtable style. So I think I kicked it off. Let's go in reverse order this time. Kick it back to you, Gogol. Just give us a nugget. Where do you want to start this bad boy off?
All right. So I got a list of things. Looking at the list, it kind of goes from positive to a little more negative, and like it's an intelligent order. So I kind of want to stick with it. Okay. Nobody watching, don't take this as there are all these negatives. It's just kind of the way the list made sense to me. Sure. But honestly, like as somebody who does signings, and somebody who's been to signings and wanted book signs, this first one's a really big one. Say hi, right? I told you that Stan was my first signature ever, and it was kind of like out of necessity because I was afraid I'd never be able to get it again. But I went to conventions for about 8 years and was too nervous to talk to people. Like I didn't want to be in their way, waste their time, I was kind of scared to say hello. Like I'm a much more outgoing person than I was when I first started comics. But like when I'm at signings, I see people hovering, and like I know why they're there, and I've honestly had people come out to a store for a signing holding the book. Like I could see a copy of Dead End Kids or No Heroine in their hand, and then they'd leave the store without saying anything. And like, that's heartbreaking. Like I want you to have a good time, and I think that most creators do. But like, just say hi. I want you to be there. You want to be there, I hope. But like, no one's here to attack. It's supposed to be a safe space. Like whatever word you're looking for here. But yeah, just say hello. Like, or I try to say hello to people when I see them kind of being a little shy. Take the invitation. Like if somebody tees you up, hit the easy home run.
Yeah. All right. I kind of like this format. So then it'll kick it over to me. So with all that being said, guys, absolutely meet your creator, talk to your creator. The piece of what I would give you as feedback is just make sure that it's you've already thought about what you're going to say, ask a question, say what's up, ask for your picture, but be ready for all that, because you got to keep in mind there's a line of people. And again, from a retailer, we want flow. We don't want people to get stuck too long. We love you want to share a quick story, but you don't want to go into this. Hey, back in 2001, Gogol, you did a signing and I ran into you at the Costco and we both had a hot dog, but mine had, they don't need that story. Tell me you appreciate the work. So. you get what I'm saying.
Impossible.
It wasn't me, sir. And then you get into this big conversation.
I don't like the shape.
So you're a bologna sandwich kind of guy. Gotcha.
I don't eat bologna either. Start naming meats I do eat.
You just serve it, I guess.
Prosciutto.
But you guys get what I'm saying here. Say what you need to say. Meet your creator, but remember there are people there. There's a line. There's a lot of people to get to. But again, enjoy your time. But be aware that other people are there to meet the creators as well. Experience on this bullet point.
Yeah, so I mean, every time I meet a creator, I like to say like, "Hello, how are you? Do you mind signing these books for me? Like, I really enjoyed this. This is like one of my favorite stories." So it's like, you're part of the reason why I came to this con was because I saw that you were attending. So I mean, that's usually like kind of like how I start to with whoever I'm meeting. But when you make characters like Greg Horn, he's really outgoing, and it's like. It's like, oh, cool, you like this? Like, make sure to join my Facebook group. And it's like, it's crazy in there. And then the next con, it's like, thank you for inviting me to this crazy group. I'm having tons of fun. But yeah. So it's just, it's a lot of fun.
Josh right here, he's got a good point. Some people do have anxiety. Personal interactions can be daunting, especially if it's somebody that you're a fan of. And we get it. I would encourage you, obviously don't do anything you're not comfortable with, but I would encourage you to make some type of gesture, because who knows when's the next time you're going to run into Mr. Frank Gogol. I mean, come on. I'm hugging him, frontsies, no backsies. No.
I want to double back on that though, because I was thinking about that while I was saying it. Obviously if you're nerve wracked and some people are paralyzed by anxiety, and that's totally real.
It's a thing.
Like obviously don't go out of your comfort zone. And that's kind of what I was getting at when I say I like to tee people up. If I see them kind of hanging around and like hanging back, like I'll say hello, I'll say come on in. Sometimes I make the I don't bite joke, which I think probably makes it worse. So I'm going to stop doing that starting right now. Like that's totally valid, and I get that. And that's kind of where I was at before the stand signing. And like, it's never ever do anything that's outside of your comfort, right? Like, especially if a creator asks you to come back to their hotel room, that's a different conversation. But the point is, don't ever do anything that's uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Right? And it is cool when you get an artist or a creator that does tee them up, because some people just need that lead in to get the ball rolling. So that's cool. One
of the benefits of the Stanley signings, as sad as they were to experience firsthand, is that they're conveyor belt. They just yelled at you to come forward, have your book ready, slide it across the table, and pick it up on the other end. So like no pressure, right? Like the pressure was not doing it.
No pictures. No pictures.
Why would you want a picture of like sad little Stan Lee, like with his head down, just making the same? I have so many feelings about the Stanley signings. That was abuse of so many kinds.
Super quick, Gogol, how many bullet points do you have?
Five, six,
Okay.
five. We covered 2 of them already.
That's perfect because I like this assembly style. Hit your bullet point. I'll offer my 2 cents, and then we'll ask
guys
you.
Are touching on some of the stuff I have.
Good.
That was my.
All right, hit me with your next one.
Yeah. All right. So be ready. Right, and this is kind of touching on what you were doing. This falls into kind of the mindfulness thing, but it's also just like a politeness thing, right? I've signed books that have like those like hard box Velcro fold over cases. Like it's inside one of those, and inside it's in a bag and board, and like you come up, you say hello, and then you're undoing that, and then undoing the next thing, and like time you spend undoing it is time that like we can't chat. And maybe you do have that story about me at the Costco not eating a hot dog or whatever, and you want to chat. Like, don't just have your book out and ready, as ready as you can without ruining it. You want to keep it clean corners, but yeah, like just make the most of your time. And one of the things you can do to make the most of your time is be prepared, right? Bring your own marker. I generally have my own markers, but if you have a specific color you like, right, like. If you have a paint pen, like I've had people come up with paint. I know Clayton Crane uses those paint pens. He brings his own, but like if you want a certain color on your book, like just have all this thought out. Be smart about it. Don't overthink it, but just like I said, maximize your time. Right? Say you've got 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever you have. Like you want to get the most out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what I mean from the retailer end. Any questions you think you want to touch on, get them ready, get your bags and boards ready. I can tell you this, I'm gonna throw a little salt at other retailers right now. A lot of them offer signings to people that can't make it in, which is great. You want to offer those services. What I can't stand is, and again, be ready. And what I mean by be ready is call the place that's doing the signing and arrange to have your book signed at a specific time. They do that. And it drives me nuts. As a fan, I'll go to get books signed and they'll say it's a 10 book minimum. So I'll bring somewhere between 5 and 7 or something like that of ones I want signed. And I'll turn around and there's a retailer with a short box. And I'm like, dude, you're not in this line because that stops the whole flow, the good time. And I'm in Arizona. So in the summertime when they do signings, it's 110 degrees outside. The last thing you want to be is the guy in back of the dude with the long box.
Or in Arizona, but that's besides the point. I want to expand on that a little bit. So some years ago, I was a fan of a book called Spider-Gwen. Edge of Spider-Verse #2 came out, and I was a pretty big fan of Gwen Stacy before that. So I was a fan of the character. And at the time, the creator of the character was a little more renowned and a little less in the dire straits, I guess you'd say. And I wanted that person's autograph. And the person in front of me was clearly a speculator, flipper, brought no less than 100 books, right? Had the window bags, like we're going to talk about in a little bit, so the signatures can be in a specific spot, and sat there one at a time, took them out of the box, put them back in the box, took the next one out of the box. And this was a fast moving line before that. Slowed it to a snail pace. It was shitty for me as a person on the line, as a fan, but it was also shitty for the creator. Like I could just see it in the guy's eyes. Like it was deadening and like, just, like to be it kind of makes you feel like you're an object, right? Like you're just, and again, going back to those Stanley signs, like that stuff really scratches me the wrong way. But yeah, like bring a reasonable amount of books and be prepared, right? Like I have a rule that I'll sign anything for free, right? But like if I see somebody bringing a stack and I can see them coming from a mile away, it goes up to $5 a signature, like automatically, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like as much as I can deter that. But people still pay for it. So I make good money.
So I got 2 good stories before I kick it over to Yeezy.
We got time.
One's good, one's bad. One's negative.
You said you had 2 good stories.
But they're both good. See
I thought one was bad. I'm so confused.
But it's a good bad story. Okay, so let's kick it off.
Good bad is in this? Strong bad?
It's a thing.
Sorry,
John Romita Jr. I got to give him a shout out. He does not sign, or he does not charge for signatures at the cons that I've been to recently. I don't know if he's changed that. It's been 2 or 3 years since I've seen him at a con. What he does do is he brings out a donation jar for a charity, and he will sign anything for free. Donation is optional. If you're one of the dudes that comes walking with a box, he makes you make a donation. Doesn't go to collect money. He's there to sign his books. but he does donate to a charity if you show up with a fat stack or if you just want to give. So I do love that about him. And him and I had a great conversation about sipping tequila. Like he was just sitting there signing books, and he's like, "Oh man, does anybody know anything about mezcal?" And I'm like, "Hey, yo, your boy." And we had a good 5-minute conversation about mezcal, and then I felt like, okay, I'm holding up this line. I'm that guy now.
But do you chase it with a Singapore sling?
No. What's a Singapore sling?
How are you gonna say no if you don't know what it is?
Yeah,
maybe you do.
Have you never read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? Because that's what Hunter S. Thompson would drink while he was also chasing.
You would have read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Right. A mezcal is not so much a hit. Like you don't drink. That's a sipping tequila. Think like a Scotch. It's smoky. It's smooth. It's a little more high class for the Mexicans. But yeah, that's my good story.
I don't know about high class. That's a different podcast.
That's a different podcast. My negative story is I was in Las Vegas Con, and I drove there again as a fan. I've got 10 books for a signing. There is a local retailer in my area, and he was there. And I go to get this book that people try to buy off me all the time. It's a Lethal Protector Venom. It's the gold foil. I got it 6 times signed. All the Venom creators were there. I was like, I'm going to get this thing knocked out. And he gets in Mark Bagley's line, and he's got a big box full of books. And him and I don't like each other anyway, but he turns out, looks at me. I'm like, hey, you dick. He brought a short box. You're going to hold up the line. And he just turned around real quick. So I put him on blast in front of everybody because he broke the etiquette rule. But that's why it was a good story.
Yeah. I do have a story about that too, actually, with Lethal Protector. So I'm in Texas, and I went to a smaller show, and you know who we always run into there is Sam De La Rosa. Yep. And so he was signing, Lethal Protectors because it was right before the Venom movie came out. And this guy literally came with a fucking short box of Lethal Protectors and was just like, can you sign all these? And the guy was just like, kind of like, I'll sign 5. Like, because he knew exactly what he was doing. And it was just like, kind of like, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, I have a line. Like, there's no way I'm going to sign all 100 of your books for this. But I do want to show the audience how to prep for a window bag.
Here we go.
For comics and stuff like that. So I will put my comic in a bag, right? So I have it. I just happen to have this sitting next to me. I like to use, as most people do, blue painter's tape. I pull out 4 pieces to make a rectangle of where I want the person to sign. And probably should have prepped a little bit more for this, but
I'm talking with the mute. I'm talking with the mute button on too, which is not prepared. But real quick, guys, if you guys are just kind of catching on what we're talking about signing preparation, and what Yee's doing is he's prepping his bag and board to be signed. This is super smart because even me, as somebody that knows this, I've gone to signings and went, shit, I didn't prep my bag, and now I got to pull 5 or 6 comics out of a bag and board in line, like rushed as I'm getting closer.
Right.
This is what you want to do.
That's when the tape catches your cover, man.
And then I'm that guy.
It's that. Yep. So I want to double back on something. So look, there's nothing wrong with bringing a lot of comics to get signed. But there is a right and wrong way to do it, right? Carrying the whole short box of 100 comics to the front of the line, holding up everything is a dick move, right? But like before I worked on Power Rangers, I was obviously a big Power Rangers fan. And I have every issue of every series signed by the creators who wrote the book and the artists who work on the book that I've been able to catch up with. Kyle Higgins wrote like 30 issues, give or take. And I had all 30 issues. I had him sign 5, got in the back of the line, had him sign another 5, got in the back of the line, left, came back a little later, gave him another 5. Like, you can do it in reasonable chunks. It's a little more work, but it's the right thing to do, right? You just, if you want it that badly, just, make the effort. It just makes everybody's life easier. You put a little good karma in the karma bank,
Okay. And
Absolutely.
Okay, so I have my spot picked out. This is one of the most important parts. Make sure to take your comic out before you cut the bag itself. And so, I mean, I've heard plenty of horror stories.
You would not believe how many people forget that. I've had people bring me a book signed that had scratch marks that are from the razor.
We love you anyway.
Yeah, so I'm just cutting out the plastic, and what I also like to do is I like to have an extra board in there because now the plastic is going to be a bit looser. So it keeps my book firm and safe inside. And I guess I didn't cut it all the way through.
It's a good tip. I never thought about that, doing the
double bag.
Yeah, or double board.
This is the only time in your life you should double bag.
Absolutely.
Here and at the grocery store.
So these they sell. These are
pro tip, never bring me one of those.
I was just about to say, do not buy these. I mean, unless the sponsor or the person that manufactures the watch and show wants to sponsor us, these are fantastic. But other than that, they are not good. I've got 2 bags of them and they're freaking useless. So
here's the shitty thing about those. Most spots that you can sign on a cover are along the outside 2 inches.
Yep.
So because the art goes in the middle, unless you have real simple art or like a 2-color cover, like one of the Department of Truth covers, that bag makes it almost impossible to sign like without fucking up the art. And it takes twice as long to take a comic out of those as it does any other bag and board. So
yeah,
be mindful of that. Those bags are pretty terrible. If you're going to use them, think about what comic you're putting inside it and where you think the signature should be.
Absolutely. Because I mean, the main focus of most art is dead center. That's where you want your.
It's called the focal point.
The focal. That's where the oculars go. Okay, so Yeezy's got his spots picked out right there. He's got the blue tape. You used an X-Acto knife to cut it out. It's got a double board in there to make it more snug.
Yep.
And it's ready to be signed.
Yeah, and then like Frank said, you could bring an extra bag after it's signed, and so you can slip that inside. So now your book is not exposed. So if you get it graded or anything like that, make sure to have your witness with you, and then and then you can rock and roll. Send it off for grading.
Oh man, you know what? You just gave me a great idea. Next time I'm in line and I'm gonna get something signed and I don't have a witness with me, I'm just gonna sing it. I need a witness real loud just to see people react stupidly.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
Well, so that means you're just gonna sing to Laura.
If you have social anxiety, you might not want to get in a line around me because if I get bored, we don't know what's gonna happen.
Wait, but aren't you and Laura both CBCS witnesses?
Yeah. For CBCS we are. But I was saying if I'm trying, you messed up my joke, Easy. Never mind. Move on. People didn't.
I think he shut you down. I think that was on purpose. Friendly fire.
I'll take it. It's cool.
Missed this last week. All right, let's kick it over to my next tip. And again, this comes with the caveat that it depends on your comfort level, but engage, right? Like if you are not paralyzed by your anxiety, which is absolutely reasonable and okay, say hello, engage. Like you would not believe how many people come up to me to get the book signed, get it signed, say thanks, and walk away. But you could see on their face they wanted to talk. Like that's okay, right? Be mindful, but also talk, say hi, engage. I'm trying to think of other words. Tell me what you liked about the book. Tell me what you hated about. Actually, don't tell me what you hated about the book. Like, tell me what you hated about my enemy's books.
Right there, you go.
They're our enemy now.
So something to elaborate on the engage. Also engage on people that are in line with you. Meet people. Ask them about their collections. You're standing in line anyway. You might as well talk. I met some really interesting people just doing that. Where was my last one? Guy in front of me, which was awesome, by the way, because remember the bad retailer guys I was telling you about where they cut the line or they bring too many books? This dude was not having it. And I was his hype man. Like he was that guy. And I'm like, bro, here comes another guy. They're letting somebody else in. He's like, what? Where? And I'm like, I'm just throwing fuel on the fire because it was hilarious to watch him go. But other than that, I mean, meet the people around you.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're gonna be standing in a long line anyways for like 3 or 4 hours, you might as well be friendly with the people around you because it makes the time like go by that much faster because now you're engaged in conversation and you could end up with a best friend for life. At the end of the line.
Yeah, you know what? We were at another signing real quick. I'll go and let you go. Albert Morales was in our line, and he's a local artist in Arizona, and he just started doing remarks for people like on empty boards. Like he had a stack of boards, and he was just, "Who do you like?" And he was drawing and just handing out free art. And he does commissions. He goes to cons. But yeah, real cool. I was just talking to him, and he was like, "Oh, I do art." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. What do you draw?" And he's like, "What do you like?" I'm like, "Cosmic Ghost Rider." Scribbled it out. Handed it to me. It was pretty badass.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that you never know who's gonna buy you a beer later at the bar either. Like
There you go.
talk to enough people, enough lines, you don't have to spend any money that night.
Gogol, when I meet you, I'm calling dibs. I get the beers that night. I'm calling dibs on night 1.
I will not fight you on that on night 2, on night 2 and night 3, as long as you can keep up.
I got you, brother.
I've seen you in your hard seltzers, bro.
As long as it's not filling and it doesn't have low calories, I put them down. All right, hit me with your next bullet.
All right. We kind of covered on the last 2, but it's worth reiterating as like an actual bullet point. Don't take advantage, right? We talked about not bringing a long box or the right way to bring a lot of comics. There are other ways to take advantage. You can monopolize time. You can monopolize space. Like there are people who will come up with their short box and put it on the con table or the signing table, and like just be smart and polite and mindful of the space around you and the people around you, and remember that the creator's there to work, right? Whether it's a store signing or a con, especially at a con, they're there to work, they're there to maybe make a living, and if you're taking up valuable real estate on their little 6x3 table, that's art that's covered that they can't sell, that nobody somebody might be interested in, they'll never see. So just be mindful, and also about the things you say. Some people sometimes overshare, and that might be a nerves thing, but like,
yeah,
if you're uncomfortable, you also don't want to make the other person uncomfortable too. And like, I know that's a fine line to walk into. Some people have a hard time with that. But if you've got coping mechanisms or little things you can do for yourself, that help with that, that's the time to really do it. Like, I don't want to be down on anybody. Like, I really am understanding about all this stuff. But we're trying to have an honest conversation about this stuff. So it's worth mentioning.
Yeah. Everybody's going to have a different comfort level. I mean, feel free to walk up, high five me and slap on the back, and I'll bullshit with anybody, but that might not be everybody. Some people don't like you in their bubble, and that's not wrong. Yeah. So read the room, guys, is what we're saying. Pick up on the vibe, read the room. And you'll have a better experience. So Yi, were you in on that, or are you gonna do a hard pass? Because we'll keep
what was the question or topic of discussion?
When was your last bowel movement?
Mm-hmm. Did it float or sink?
Oh, it sank. And probably too much.
All right, time out. I didn't really want to know. We're just like,
we can edit this in post, right?
No, it's out there. It's alive.
Well, now we know.
So I want to add a bullet point here. One thing, again, from the retailer side of it, guys, is when you go to a signing and you're paying money and you're standing in line, you're there for an experience. Expect enough from the experience. I've gone to signings where they've gone to Costco and bought lukewarm water bottles and charged $1 a water bottle. You guys know you can go to Costco and you can get a 32, 50 pack for $5. And it was hot. So you want to expect the things to be run professionally. You want to be comfortable. You want to make sure that it's set up for the experience. If you're standing outside and it's 120 degrees and they're selling you warm water for $1 that they paid 10 cents a bottle for, I would definitely try to gauge those things. And if, again, retailers are listening, you're creating an experience for people. If they're supposed to enjoy it. You don't want them to go home sunburn and be like, fuck, that sucked, man, but I got my book signed, I guess.
That's exactly the opposite of the other, right? Don't take advantage, but also don't get taken advantage of. And it's worth mentioning, prices for signings. Like there are some people who charge an exorbitant amount of money for their signatures, and some, like, this is my value judgment, some of them don't have the right to be charging that much. I think there are people out there who can charge that, and it's kind of how it is. If Stanley were still around and you wanted $300 for a signature, Frank Miller, like there are people who kind of fit that God tier creator, and like, but there are also people who don't. And just out of self-respect for yourself, know the difference, right? Like, I don't know how else to say that. Like, I've seen people stand in line for hours for a creator who didn't really take care of them at all, didn't really engage, and charged way too much money. And like, I don't like seeing that happen to my friends. I don't like seeing that happen to other people. So don't feel like you need a person's signature if like the circumstances are not good for you. I don't know how else to put that. Like, I'm kind of thinking this as I'm talking, but respect yourself, like, right? Respect the creator respects you, and you respect yourself.
Absolutely. Good tips. let's see. I'm seeing if there's anything. Frank, do you charge for signature? So I believe you said you didn't typically.
There are times I do and there are times I don't. Generally, if I'm at a convention or at a store signing, I don't. If I'm at a convention, somebody brings up like a shit ton of books. Like I've had when Dead End Kids came out and was kind of out of print and hard to get. I had a guy bring up like 50 copies, and he was clearly a retailer who saw that it was sold out and didn't put his shelf copies out. So I charged him $5 a signature. These days I do, when I see something like that, it's like $10 a signature. If somebody brings a CGC Witness, I kind of feel it out. First one, I don't really care, but like if I'm going to be doing multiple of the same book and I feel like you're going to flip it, it's probably going to be a charge per book. Like it just comes down to like what I feel like your intentions are.
I was going to say, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. This is completely as a friend. Sure. I think you should charge.
You think it's like that?
I think we're pals now. I can say it.
I don't want to charge. It's not a money thing. It's a I want to take care of people thing.
But even if it's $1 though, is what I'm saying. Like it's you want people to understand that your time and what you've created has value.
Oh, no, I get that. I do. What it is for me, and I'm probably moving towards the donation jar type of thing at this point, is that when I go to a show, I'm usually put up. I pay for myself to get out there, but like that's about where it stops, and that's a lot cheaper than most creators. Like most of my friends pay for their artist alley tables, they pay for their hotels, they pay for their flights, their gas, their food. A lot of that is taken care of for me because I work with SourcePoint. So I'm getting there for like a third or a quarter of the price most people are, and I'd rather you take that $5 and go spend it on an artist who is in the hole $1,200. Like I said, there are times I do charge, and I have signing deals with some retailers who do signings on my behalf. They send me stuff. They give me a portion of what they sell the signatures for. And like I'm not against it. I just think there's a time and a place for it. And if I'm asking other people to be mindful of certain things, I want to be mindful of certain things too. And I know that being a comic creator, artist in particular, is no health insurance. It's long hours for little pay. And like, I don't need the money that badly. I get paid really well for my books. Most of my books sell really well. So someday when I've written the new Daredevil Born Again and the next Dark Knight Returns, and I'm Scott Snyder and Mark Millar and all those people, please by all means give me your money. But today I don't need it. There
you go. You guys heard it. I like the idea of the donation thing and make it optional at least, because then it adds value to your time, which you're giving.
Yeah.
And the only reason I brought it up as a retailer is because I did a lot of that. I want your business. Let me give and give and give. Yeah. And as soon as you get to the point where you can't do that anymore, people start to expect it. And now you're an asshole until you change the mindsets.
Yeah, no. And you know what, honestly, God, like there are a couple of reasons I don't do it that different. One is I'm a really good hand seller, which is also a byproduct of working with SourcePoint. That's just they're grinders. They make most of their money doing hand sells at conventions. And I know that if somebody comes up for a signature, they're walking away with a copy of the Dead End Kids trade. And so that's a situation where I get paid, but also somebody gets value out of it. That's not just some Sharpie. The other thing that I wanted to say, and maybe it's gone. The other thing is donation jar. My buddy Justin Jordan, who everyone knows from so many great books that I can't think of any names of.
Good, right? He's fantastic. I don't know. I can't tell you what he wrote, but he's.
Oh God, what's that book with the bodybuilder guy? Oh, it's gonna kill me. Yay! What is it?
Is he frozen? He's been in that.
Are you talking about Conan?
No. It'll come to me. I'm
Shirtless bear fighter.
Oh, very good. But no, that's Sebastian Kerner. Come back to me. It's Luther Strode. Sorry, I am losing my mind. Luther Strode. But anyway, Justin has a great cat named Tom, and on Justin's table at conventions, he has a little coffee can with a picture of Tom on it and says "Tips for Tom" or some bullshit like that. And if you get a signature and you want to help feed Tom, help pay for his cat food between conventions, that's how Justin does it. He doesn't need it, but if you think cats are cute and you feel like you need to give a little something, that's a way to do it. Before convention season started last year, right before it, I got a brand new cat named Pizza Cat. And my absolute intention was to put a picture of this beautiful, shaggy, adorable cat on a can and get people to give me their money so I can go drink later and not have to worry about the cat. The cat has plenty of food.
So I used to, guys, I was a sales manager for years. Okay. And you just reminded me of this. I had a sales rep that we sold electronics. I won't say specifics, but he used to go up to people and go, can I tell you about the nutritional value of this product? It's an electronic. And people would go, what do you mean? Well, what I mean is the more you buy, the better I eat. And it's great. And I never forgot that. He said that to everybody and people would chuckle. It's all about breaking down walls. I think the cat idea or a picture of like a monster under your bed saying that, he needs to eat too, or something that's not real and you don't mean it, but of a joke. It's kind of a soft entry. And I like that.
Icebreaker.
There you go. Yeah. They're nice icebreakers.
Yeah. It's a polite way to do it.
Yeah. So I guess I have a couple opinions about this, if I'm getting if I'm getting a book signed that's raw, and there's no charge, cool. This goes into my PC. If I bring a CGC witness, I'm expecting to pay like a little bit more if the artist or creator charges like something. It's kind of like in the game of all. But others, are intended to sell. Am I freezing?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's that Texas electrical grid.
Yeah, it was all
right.
Now he's doing it on purpose.
There he is.
Is Laura laughing in the background?
Laura's right here. They can hear you laughing.
I can hear her better than ye.
Oh my goodness, that was great. But
it's because I'm working.
Basically, you saying, guys, expect to pay the creator for their time. Don't whine in and bitch and moan if it's $5. Be prepared.
Frame it nicely.
Yes, and have cash in hand. It makes it nice and flowy. I mean, I'm sure they'll take
Venmo.
See, there you go. Venmo, Zelly.
The 21st century. I think
Cash App.
I think it's pronounced Zelle, but
fuck PayPal.
Yeah, I don't take PayPal anymore.
Shoot, they'll close your account.
Yeah, they take 13%. It's crazy.
Jeez, that's crazy. All right, so we have a fun segment planned, don't we?
Yeah, and I think we can kick it over now. We've covered all the bullet points. Guys, take all this to heart. Or I'm going to start charging for signatures. That's what it's going to boil down to.
Guys, these shows eventually you're going to have to pay $1 just to watch them live. So
yeah, you guys, we're going to be on Only Ants.
There you go. Do a private Facebook event video. All right, so fun segment planned out. What are the rules here for the fun segment?
Do I have a slide for this? I think I
was going to ask you. I'm looking at the bottom. Eight.
There it is. I got it.
Where? There you go.
Boom. Build an exclusive. So since I wasn't here last week, I went back and I watched the episode and it looked like it was a ton of fun. And I'm sorry I missed it. But we were talking about what the fun segment for this week could be. And I said, why don't we go back and do something tied to last week's episode so I could participate?
Yeah,
it was neat. I was very needy. But since we're talking about signings and some of the things that we get signed or exclusive covers, I sell exclusive covers and sign them for people. Ant sells exclusive covers and gets people to sign for him. It seems like it fits, so shut up.
So there. You did it, Gogol.
Yeah. So the idea here is Ant has picked a mystery book. We don't know what it is yet. And the three of us, Ant will have an advantage here, will create sort of a fantasy draft team and concept for the cover and kind of just defend it, I guess. Yeah.
So can I throw a little nugget in here?
Sure. Yeah. Take over.
If I was looking at the layout on how we were going to do this thing, I'm going to present said book. Off the top of your heads, could you guys come up with a design that's artsy and a design that is more of the photorealism type? So we have two suggestions. I'm talking artist and concept. Off the top of your heads, would that be too much to ask?
I've already got them.
Okay, cool. So I think what I'm going to
don't know what the book is, but I got it.
I think what I'm going to do, and audience, this is where you guys are going to come in. Everybody that's watching live, we want to see comments. If you have suggestions on what you would post them, we'll put them up if they look fantastic, cool ideas. But then we want you to
the one you like most.
Vote for the one you like most. So I think, Frank, was that out on the rules before I interjected and threw in some extras?
So the rules are, Ant's going to pick the book. We have to choose an artist. We set like an imaginary budget of about $1,500 for cover art. Yeah, soft ruling on that, right? Like you can go over.
We'll give you some leeway in there.
Yeah,
it's just,
and then you have to come up with a concept and defend why you think it would make a good cover. And just keep the retail end of things in there. Why don't we defend why we think it'll sell?
So I think what I'll do too is that when you guys give me your suggestions, I'll give you my honest opinion on which one I think I could sell the most to. Okay. But let's start off. Let's go with the photo.
I want to add one more rule.
Yep.
It can't be Drunkovision style. Like that's an automatic DQ. If your cover concept is Drunkovision, you're out.
Okay. No, yeah, you can't do that. It's got to be.
And you can't work with James Tynan.
Ugh. All right.
He's not an artist.
So, did I make a slide? Did I have a slide, or am I just telling you what it is?
If you didn't make a slide and give me stuff to make a slide, we ain't got a slide. That's how.
Okay, no slide. I figured that. All right, guys. So the book that I am picking, Marvel is relaunching Predator #1. It comes out November 24th. That's the in-store date. Predator #1. I figured we could have some fun with some concepts on this. So this is going to be my book. Do you guys want me to tee it up for you and then let you go?
How do you mean tee it up?
Tell you kind of like how I would do it.
No, you should go last. And
okay,
let's do this like we did the fashion show. We'll tell you ours, and then you tell us the right answer.
You got it. All right. Who would like to go first? Put your finger on your nose.
I'll go first.
There you go.
So all right. So Predator cover.
Yes.
My gut instinct says Martin Simmons, the artist for Department of Truth. Because just thinking on Marvel covers and what they've done with Alien, they've gone for a lot of that photorealism and a lot of that like really clean, not very messy art. And I'm thinking like a horror book, like or horror action book like Predator or Alien really could benefit from something kind of crazy. And I love his cover designs, so I'd go with him. And I think that I'd probably just do something like the Predator face, right? Like with the jaws kind of undone, like super close up, kind of cropping out a lot of like the outer top of the head, bottom of the jaw, kind of like real up close. And for colors, I would go with, rather than like the red and black and gray that Martin Simmons usually does for the Department of Truth covers, I would go with like that bright pink, yellow, green, kind of like the heat vision.
Okay. Thermal vision stuff. Yeah.
And use that for the lions and the different shapes. And I think that would be pretty cool. I think the name would sell it easily. I mean, you say Department of Truth artist, like you're going to sell those books. I think the concept is interesting. This is not going to be the photo realism, right? It's going to be the more artsy one.
Yes.
But like, I don't know. I know that my cover sensibilities and what I think looks good in a cover aren't exactly what everyone else's, but I think this might be one time where they overlap a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. This is a solid suggestion. It seems like you could handle your concept. So yeah, I'm on board with this. All right. Yee, give me your artsy concept.
All right. I think this one's going to throw y'all off. Shepard Fairey is going to be my pick for the artist. And yeah, because he's done comic covers before for Orchard. What else did he did? He also did something for Heavy Metal. So, everyone knows the Obey, symbol. Okay. And then, you just take, kind of similar to yours, like, where it's a headshot, you can see like, he can do hair and all that at a certain angle. And then you make it like 2 or 3 tone colors. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like,
are you thinking like propaganda poster? Like a lot of these look like?
Yeah, exactly. So, and then like, instead of like Obey at the bottom, it just says like Predator or something like that. In his famous text that he uses.
Same colors I was thinking.
See, I think, would be fun with that. You could do like half the print run with, the thermal colors and the other half with the, standard Predator colors kind of stuff.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even think of that, splitting the run.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. That's kind of my artsy cover. I mean, I don't know how much he charges for covers, but I mean, if he could do Orchard, I figure it can't be that much.
As the opponent, I'm going to say, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. And that's not bad. That's a completely fresh approach to it. I like the concept of doing it in that styling. From a retailer end, I think that Gogols would be easier to sell. So I'm going to have to give the point to Gogol. My choice for my artsy would be Jeff DeCall.
Ooh, he's expensive, right?
I think he's outside the price range, bro.
Actually, he's not.
Okay. Nice.
I can get him. I don't even know if I should say. I can get him in that range of that 1,500 plus.
You've already said too much.
I know. My concept would be an all-white background, skull,
Suicide mission.
with the Predator crouching on top of it, doing one of his deep crouch roars on top of said skull in the call style.
All right. Well, I'm going to DQ you for using a white cover because they're not going to print. Especially if you put a black Predator on it, like you're just going to get ripped.
But it will pop
so
like
much
you cannot believe.
Oh man, you're using the call. Shut up and take my money.
It'll look good on the screen, but not on the page.
If they printed normally, that would be a killer.
Yeah. All right. So are we assuming print will be perfect? Like 9
Yeah,
copies?
we're assuming that 95% of the print run will show up to you intact.
So
because
you're
also
getting
Diamond ships it.
So you're getting it from Random House. Okay. Gotcha.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Weird question, but are you doing a Predator exclusive? Are you like fielding concepts here?
It's actually on my spreadsheet to look at once we get closer. So I have it in my maybe pile because I keep a running list of things I'm interested in, and it is on my maybe pile. Just depends if I can get the right concept, right artist. That's always what it comes down to.
I mean, you already did Alien.
Push it again. Don't push it again.
So he knows where I saw Predator. I'm like, I did Alien. I might need set.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was great, guys. You guys got the concept down. It's always fun to be super creative, but let's get into more of a realism type artist, type concept. Let's go in reverse this time. Yeezy, who would you pick for your realism, and what is your concept?
So my realism artist, I would choose Brian Stilfreeze. And then for my concept, he's done like a bunch of like realistic, like barbershop kind of art. He's done movie posters and stuff like that. So I kind of want to do like a homage of like a movie poster, but not something like typical of like Predator movie, but something like maybe even like in a classic like horror kind of thing.
Like what though?
What movie? Off the top of my head.
You're coming up with the concept, man. You're buying. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Let's do something random. Let's do a Predator for breakfast at Tiffany's, where the Predator's like holding a cigarette.
Okay. So we got breakfast at Tiffany's. Predator's holding a cigarette, having a cup of Joe. This is Still Freeze's art from his Instagram right here. I'm trying to find one that I think works. Here we go. That one. Perfect. No, that's not it. Okay, but I see what you're getting at here, though.
Yeah. I mean, because, he's done like the Detective Comics where he did the Matrix poster and stuff like that. So I think, so I think he would do like pretty good for this like concept. And
this is who you're going to pay. You would give this guy money to do an exclusive for you.
Yeah.
All right. I don't mind it. I'm looking at it. The guy's got some potential here for sure.
Some potential. He's the most famous comic artist in the world.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying for the concept that has been delivered.
Look at this metal.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at the pictures and find Predator in here, even if it's something that's not Predator wise, like something like that, and see, okay, Predator. He's got the things coming off here, and I'm trying to see it. I'm there. Okay, go. Tell me what you got for your realism.
So, all right, I'm gonna tell you the concept first.
Okay.
So I want a photorealistic Predator, right? I want him on a lush jungle green background, like realistic looking trees and leaves, and I want him to be holding Arnold Schwarzenegger's severed head. Yes. Okay. I don't even need to tell you the artist, right? And then I'm gonna have what is his name? Aaron Bartling draw it.
Nice.
Aaron's done a couple covers for me, or he's done one that's public knowledge. He's just got
my favorite Ronin cover right here.
That's up there with some of the best.
Yuki vs. Panda right here, the Source Point book, right? And that panda looks fantastic.
Yeah, honestly, some of these aren't even his most photorealistic ones. I don't know if he's got the Dead End Kids one he did for us, but that one's like very.
Dude, look at his red skull.
Yeah. So imagine this Predator, jaw fucking wide open, doing his crazy scream. Beautiful lush jungle behind him. That Wolverine, that's the one.
This one.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that the shot you would do? Would it be a chest up, like a headshot?
I'm doing like a maybe
like a 3/4,
a waist up, maybe. Like I'm trying to leave room for a logo, but also like virgin version. But like we're
like
looking
this
at
proportion wise.
yeah, maybe just a little bit higher than that, less legs maybe. But like, and he's got a fucking arm up. He's got Arnold's head. It's fucking gore hanging out. I mean, like I don't know if Aaron would draw it though. But if he would, I feel like that's where I'd go with it. And this is me stepping outside of what I think is good and catering to what I know people will buy.
I like it. No, it's not bad. It's solid. It's sellable. I'm kind of torn on both of these concepts because Yeez is outside the box. But I like the gimmicky part of his. Breakfast at Tiffany's with a Predator and a cigarette. Like nobody else is going to give you that. And who knows if it'll sell? But again, nobody's going to give you that. So
X going to give it to
you. One of my favorite realism artists is Raphael Grissetti.
Yeah, he's good.
Nice. He's got a background in 3D digital art for video game design. He did a lot of the character rendering for God of War. So this guy has got it down. My thing with him is his backgrounds on comics. So this is a cover he did. It looks real. The texture, yeah. If I could take Gogol's idea and mesh it, that gorgeous lush background, but switch your artists, take my money right now. I will print that book all day because I do love that idea. But yeah, I would do some actiony, sinister. The 3 laser beam eyes shooting off into the distance, being like, yeah, and I'm in all day on something like that. But yeah, Raphael Grit. Oh, check it out. He did one. Look at that damn thing.
Yeah. So just that with Arnold's fucking head. It's gold. He's
holding it by the spine, and there's the head instead of holding it by the head. Now
swinging it around like a lollipop.
Exactly.
Wait, are you doing a Mortal Kombat cover now?
I know, right? Finish it. Oh, that's the finish him variant.
Predator, not from Mortal Kombat. He's in Mortal Kombat.
Baraka.
No, like in the most recent one, Predator.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's one of the unlockable skins or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I just want to say that if there was no budget, I would do that same cover I was just describing. But Predator would be giving the reader the finger, and it would be by I don't know, Alex Ross.
There you go.
Nice.
Because it'll sell. We're going to print 10,000 of them for $30 a piece.
Dude, that's awesome. Right? Clayton Crane, people are commenting in here. That is out of our price range for this run.
Almost double of our price range.
That's, triple from what I've heard. It's getting up there. Well, I know that he's got aspirations of opening his own art studio soon. So that boy's been grinding. That guy's gone on 2 tours around the US, driving in a van from what it looks like. He's out there to get that money. He's doing fantastic work. And that's like his thing right now is I want to get enough together to throw my art studio together and have my own place to create, which is cool.
Well, if the 3 of us pool all of our budgets, we could do a shared exclusive.
Dude, I'm super down. I got you guys. You guys want to do a comic food chain exclusive?
Oh, dang. Are we doing
this? Will Predator be on the front?
Well, it's already on my spreadsheet, so we can have a conversation.
Listen, you guys know where the Discord is. We'll chat.
We'll chat it up. But yeah, I think that was great. Fans, if you guys want to vote, do not vote for me because I already know that I probably lost because that typically seems to happen on this show with me.
Do not vote for him because we want him to be here next week.
Let's get some Yeezys, some Gogol votes, and we'll put a bow on this thing. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the fun segment of the create an exclusive. I think both of you guys have a clear vision on what you like, which is cool because it came out in your artist choices. Stop moving, just relax.
You got ghosts, bro? You got ghosts?
I hit the microphone because it's like on this cool arm.
I didn't know you were Italian, man.
Hey, hey.
All right, we're getting racist.
All right. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed all those good things. If you have not done so, guys, we're putting a bow on towards the end of the episode. What we're eating, go and check it out. Yi does a great job editing this video. There is always a blooper somewhere in it that we started adding in. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I was there for bloopers.
That's you.
It's always me.
Stop giving us comedy gold, man.
We shoot it at the end of the day when my speaking is not as good. My no speaky good. I'm basically Groot.
we do this episode at the end of the day every week too.
Yeah, but I'm not drinking typically. I drink for these.
True.
Oh yeah, I guess what we were eating was when you were drinking. So
I like the one after he was drinking all weekend.
yeah, that was the one I was talking about.
I was on one for that, but it was awesome.
Anyway, guys, the new What We're Eating for this week's comics is up now. Go check it out. It's one of my favorites. I allowed a Liefeld cover to be the thumbnail this week, so please go bask in that. Poor decision making on my part. So yeah, we got that.
And let us know what you're eating.
Yeah.
Leave us comments and like a really nonchalant way. We, not that we're asking for it, but do it. Come back next week. We are talking comic book conventions. This episode was kind of a tee up for the next one. It's our 20th episode, if you can fucking believe it. So join us next Tuesday. Have I been drinking? Join us next Tuesday. We got a pretty cool show planned, and we might have a pretty cool guest coming through. I don't want to commit.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It's that button right there in front of you. It says subscribe. If you've subscribed, it says subscribed. If it says subscribed, you're amazing. If it doesn't say subscribed, hit it. You can also follow us on Comic Book Food Chain's Instagram at Comic Book Food Chain. Do not follow us on Twitter. Please respect the red X. And if you have not yet, if you are subbed to the channel and you have not yet hit the bell for notifications, please do that. We have looked at our analytics. We know that 80% of you have not. Shame.
Okay, guys, right here. See the little bell? And look at, watch me. Boom. Clicked.
We'll even accept personalized.
You got it.
We don't care, but please hit the bell. No, in all seriousness, if you want to keep seeing what we're doing and you don't want to miss an episode, I saw a lot of people coming in late toward the back half of the episode. If you don't want to worry about stuff like that, just hit the bell and you'll get quick little notification. I don't know if it's an email or it's a little thing up at the top. I think you get a little. It's not even really intrusive, right? It's just a little number at the top in the bell.
No, it's the screaming goat sound. We just uploaded that.
Oh, nice. That's even better.
No,
anyway,
it'll
guys,
be real lucky.
we absolutely appreciate everyone who subscribes to the channel and to Instagram and who does hit the bell. It helps us feel good about ourselves.
Yes. All right. Well, guys, that was do the thing. We got the 900 sub. We are almost there. We had a nice spike. If you guys need us to get rid of Gogol for another week so we can get another spike, you just let us know. We're here for you.
Or maybe those were votes for me to come back. That's what I'm framing it as. But yeah, we are creeping up on 900 a little faster than we were planning. When we hit 900, again, we're going to give away Sam Wilson, Captain America #1. This is the hip hop cover. It's going to come with a free press from Red Hood Comics. So if you, like I said, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, here's another reason to do it.
Yes.
And when we hit 900, we're gonna give that bad boy away. And I don't have a slide for it again, but when we hit 1,000, we're gonna give away that double signed Canto #1. So keep helping us build this channel up, and we'll keep taking care of you.
Absolutely. That's what we're doing, guys. We're on the building aspect. This is the time to take advantage, take all the free books, take all the giveaways. Now is the time, because when we get really big, we might not even acknowledge the chat. So get your comments in now.
And if we have 1 million subs, you have a 1 in 1 million chance of being the winner. Right now, you've got a 1 in 900. So
exactly,
those are pretty good odds. I hope they don't get.
I'll take
better.
Those guys.
I hope the odds don't get better for you guys, though. The
Absolutely.
subs start going down and out.
All right, guys. Well, again, make sure you make it next week. What We're Eating is going to be released in the afternoon on Tuesday. And then, of course, we go live at night. Hit all the bells, like Gogol said. Until next week, guys. Yeezy, anything to add?
See y'all later. I got to go into work.
Oh, geez. Sorry, buddy.
No, it's cool.
All right.
I'm pretty sure you're supposed to say thanks for showing up. But,
oh, yeah.
Way to follow the outline. Yes, we script that.
Gogol, do you have a new tagline yet?
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Ugh. All right.
Off.
He's sorry, I'm getting coached from the side. Can I share one more thing before we go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on 1 second. I totally spaced on this. I know. Guys, so I am releasing another exclusive this week. Laura just reminded me to share it. Nobody has seen it except for her show yet, but I figure I better show ours.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Sub the channel so you can quit his job.
Thanks, Ultra. He's
What do you think of this?
1000.
This is the first time you guys have seen it.
That's pretty good.
Oh,
Honestly,
On Me You Love in the Dark. This is a Scotty Young book.
I don't know about that title, but I like Cabin
Right.
in the Woods a lot, and I think this might be better than the poster.
Dude,
Yep.
so this cover's by Ariel Diaz, guys. Reach out to her.
So good.
And getting back into the art thing, super quick side note, try to be open-minded when you experience people's art. When you read Gogol, don't just read it for what it is and see what his range is. And Ariel is one of those artists where people stop it. People hand her sexy cover after sexy cover, but she's an artist. This woman's got skills. And she put together this cover. I didn't want her to do a sexy woman cover. I said, give me Cabin in the Woods. And she did this amazing, beautiful background. Let me pull up the image so you guys can see it.
Cabin in the Woods by way of crossover colors.
Yes. Let me see. Where did I put the art?
Did you know that Cabin in the Woods is like one of the most popular horror films?
I did. That's why I picked it. Again, I know what I'm doing some days.
Is there anyone alive who doesn't know that? Because if you haven't seen it, go see it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So you've
The Mermaid's my favorite.
The woman here.
Is that Laura in the window?
Right? She doesn't wear glasses. She's even got a paintbrush in her hands, which is kind of the premise. But look at this background. This is digital art, guys.
Nice. Looks like
it's canvas, and there are the woods. As you guys see, the woods kind of creeping in. Look at the detailing that she put into the panels. Like, this is fantastic. I was beyond happy with this. But guys, this will be on sale this week. I haven't gotten the final trade dress in. So this is just an image. You guys are getting it right here.
Don't get the trade dress in. It's covering all that good detail.
I wanted to bring home a good homage cover. You have to have the trade dress look like the text from the homage. And I take that as a rule of thumb.
Stray Dog covers, I know.
See, you get it. So as much as I wanted to do this as a virgin cover, I'm like, to bring it home, I needed the text like Cabin in the Woods. But yeah, you guys can get this week. I'll again sign up for my newsletter if you guys don't mind. birdcitycomics.com. I do not send shit out every day. It basically is Yeezy subscribes. I have a new book and it's on sale. That is the only email I send out. So you're not going to get one every 3 days from me, unless I dropped a book 3 days in a row. Other than that, not likely. But yeah, this thing's fantastic. I'm pumped to release this book, and we're very, very proud of this one. There's just so much cool shit going on here.
Are you unproud of the other ones? You don't have to answer that. And also, follow-up question, is it true?
Well, it's kind of like when your kids do something really cool, like they're cool half the time, and then one of them dunks, and you're like, "That's my boy," and your daughter goes, "Thanks, Dad." So that's what comics.
I've seen your son; he has never dunked.
Not yet. We'll get him there. But guys, so thank you for letting me share that. We're gonna launch that this week again. We showed the image on Comic Book Women earlier, and I totally spaced out on even bringing it up. But yeah, we'd appreciate you guys come out, check it out, and pick up a copy.
Those will be available on frankgogol.com.
Absolutely. And when we get to the 900 sub giveaways on frankgogol.com, what do you think I throw in a copy of this for everybody? We'll double up on the 900.
Cool. Digital copy.
And I'm talking a screenshot printed out on my my nice printer. All right, guys.
Are you trying to wink?
That's my sexy wink.
You're having a stroke, man. Stop that.
Dude, this works. You see, Laura? This is how I got her. I said, "Hey, girl."
Did she have a stroke? Look, never mind.
I think she was checking to see if I had a stroke, and then we were like, "Oh, you're kind of cool."
You tricked her on it. We'll find out someday.
All right, Google. Last words of wisdom for you before we let everybody
go. Be excellent to one another.
BX. Oh my God, a Bill and Ted quote. I love it. Until next time, y'all. Stay hungry.